I gave my daughter, Lily, $5 to buy some bread she wanted. After a while, Lily came back home, but she didn't have any bread with her. Huh? Did you get lost?
Nope.
Was your favorite panda-shaped bread sold out?
I don't know. I didn't go inside the bakery.
What? You didn't go to the bakery?
I did, but…
Lily looked like she was about to cry. Then she said to me,
Mom, I want you to divorce Dad.
We're not getting a divorce, honey.
But Dad is.
With that, Lily started crying with sobs. My name is Natalie. I'm 30 and work as a dental hygienist. My husband, Kenny, is 32 and works as a caregiver. And we have a 6-year-old daughter, Lily, making us a family of 3. Kenny and I met at the hospital where I used to work. There, I was a dental assistant, and he was a caregiver. After dating for a year, Kenny proposed to me, and we got married. He didn't say anything special, but I loved my job and didn't want to give up my career just because I got married, so I continued working at a nearby dental clinic. Even after getting pregnant with Lily, I kept working thanks to the understanding of my workplace. And after taking a few months off for maternity leave, I've now been back at the same dental clinic for 7 years. Kenny also advanced in his career as a caregiver, even handling night shifts and working hard. Our daughter Lily is girlish, charming, and we have been a very close and open family. Lately, Lily's big thing is playing detective. It seems like it's all influenced by popular anime, where they bring everything to deduction and expose, even spreading in nurseries.
Lily, try to guess words for dinner tonight.
Okay. Let me think. I'll ask Mom for some clues.
Great, counting on you.
Hey Mom, what's for dinner tonight?
Playing detective, huh? Well, it's something slurpy with brown meat on top.
I got it. Spaghetti.
Maybe. That's the only clue. Try to guess.
I'll think about it with Dad.
Like this, my husband really takes good care of our daughter. She loves her dad a lot, and it warms my heart to see them playing together. It's not always detective games. Being an active girl, she loves the park too. When I want to catch up on housework on my days off from work, my husband often takes her to the park. I take her too, but since he often has afternoons off, I leave it to him a lot. At the park, we usually hang out with a set group of mom friends, and Sarah and her mom, Emily, are who we play with most. Sarah is in the same class as my daughter at preschool, and us moms are the same age. And the dads know each other too. Sometimes, we even go on family picnics together. My husband and Emily get along well, and when they're at the park together, they watch the kids, which lets me leave my daughter with him confidently.
Mom? Today, Sarah and I built a castle again.
Oh, I wish I could have seen that castle.
It was really fancy. Sarah's mom said so too.
Great. Next time we'll make one for you to see.
I can't wait. This way, my daughter always tells me about her day, which has become a routine. I've grown to feel completely at ease with her open communication. Speaking of being open, Emily is the same. To put it nicely, she's open. To put it bluntly, she's chatty and tells my husband and me everything. I've quietly thought to myself that Emily is not someone to tell secrets to. The other day, this happened.
My husband was cheating, you know.
What? Is it okay to tell me this?
It's fine. It's mostly resolved now.
Really? Is Sarah okay with it?
Well, yeah. I managed to smooth things over, so it should be fine.
Hey, what's cheating?
Oh, Lily, it's nothing.
It's okay, Natalie. Cheating means, like, when dad likes someone who is not mom. It's something you should never do.
What happens if you cheat?
Well, maybe he would have to say goodbye to me and Sarah.
Huh?
Lily ran off to swing with Sarah, seemingly not fully grasping the concept. I thought it wasn't necessary to explain it so explicitly to a 6-year-old, but Emily must have had her reasons.
Besides, it's resolved for now. But if my husband messes up again and we end up divorcing, explaining the sudden absence of dad would be hard, right?
That might be true, but
If that happens, I'll be the one in financial trouble. So I need to think ahead.
thinking about it in advance seems like bad luck.
But, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
That's true, but we have to make sure Sarah isn't affected by it.
Yay, that's the best way to handle it.
I figured I'd better not have to teach my daughter about those kinds of things, while also wondering how Emily's family resolved their issue. But other people's business is their business. I decided not to pry too much. Emily works part-time at a local bakery. That's quite popular, and we often stop by there after work to buy bread. One day, my daughter wanted some bread, so I gave her $5 and sent her to Emily's bakery to pick out her favorite. She came back home after a while, but without any bread. Huh? Did you get lost?
No,
Was your favorite panda bread sold out?
I don't know. I didn't go inside the bakery.
What? You didn't go to the bakery?
I did, but
Lily seemed on the verge of tears. Then she said something to me.
Mom, I want you to divorce Dad.
What?
Dad doesn't love you, so I want you to divorce him.
We are not getting a divorce, honey.
But Dad is.
Before she could finish, Lily started crying with little sobs. Shocked, I asked her what happened. It's okay, Lily. Let's have a big hug. What happened, sweetie?
Well, near the bakery, in a hard-to-see place, I saw Dad and Emily hugging.
What?
They were saying I love you and kissing.
Kissing. I felt dizzy with disbelief. Emily and my husband, of all places, right there on the street. But Lily is only 6. There could be a mistake. I decided to devise a plan to get proof. Hey, you have a day off after your night shift tomorrow, right? Lily is supposed to stay at Sarah's house. Can you take her?
Yeah, sure. Leave it to me.
Kenny seemed oddly cheerful, but that might just be my imagination. The important thing was to proceed with the plan. I had already asked Emily to look after Lily, and I hung a recorder around her neck and hid it in her clothes. I also told her to keep what she saw at the bakery a secret. If you're busy, you can come back right away. I've asked Emily to take care of things.
That's fine. I need a break anyway, so I'll have some fun with them.
I'm sorry to bother you on your day off. I'm counting on you.
Don't worry about it. Just focus on your work.
Really? Thanks. You always help me out.
Leave it to me. Let's have a blast, Lily.
My husband seemed unusually cheerful. I felt my blood boil at the thought of him meeting Emily, but I held it in. That day, I worried that Lily might spill everything while I was at work, but I managed to get through the day as it was busy. When I got home, my husband and Lily were already there, and Lily had a sad look on her face again. My husband, on the other hand, was visibly in a good mood. I desperately suppressed my emotions and prepared dinner for my husband and Lily. I also gave Lily some pudding for dessert to cheer her up. Since my husband had an early shift the next day, I put Lily to bed early and decided to listen to the recording from the recorder. As expected, it was a conversation between Emily and my husband that sounded like a love scene. It was a conversation that only a very discerning child would understand. Given that their voices sounded distant, they were probably having their tryst in another room. I couldn't forgive the two of them for doing such things under the same roof as our child. To call it disgusting. But they seemed to be having a great time to the point where I couldn't even think about such things. As I listened to the recording, I noticed that Lily seemed aware of the recording and was not talking much with Sarah. I felt anger welling up inside me, thinking about how they were making our child uncomfortable with their actions. I hated myself for even slightly suspecting my daughter. Though she's only 6 years old, she's a thoughtful and insightful child. I have to find a way to separate from my husband and ensure that it doesn't affect my daughter's future. And it involves Sarah's family too. Since Emily also has a husband, it becomes a case of double infidelity. It might be a good idea to consult Emily's husband as well. I decided to also choose the timing of my husband's and Emily's 2 jobs, and I'm going to let Emily's husband know about it. He was furious and apologized to me. He seemed crestfallen, thinking perhaps Emily was holding a grudge from his past infidelity. I convinced him by saying, "This time, it's about both of our families, so let's handle the conversation properly." We proceeded with the conversation under the assumption of divorce, with full cooperation. Starting with Emily's family. When Emily's husband broached the subject, Emily initially tried to deny it, but gradually her expression soured, and eventually she admitted it. Since Emily works part-time, she can live on her own. Her husband, considering his past mistakes, contacted me to say they decided to start over and forgive each other, which I agreed was for the best. Because I wanted Sarah to be the happiest she could be. But in our case, it's different. My daughter witnessed what happened between my husband and Emily. And I have my own job and financial independence. I absolutely refuse to silently accept this situation and suffer in silence. First, I confronted my husband and verified the truth. At first, my husband, like Emily, claimed not to know what I was talking about. But as I played the recording, his expression stiffened gradually. Ultimately, he admitted to cheating with Emily as well. However, the surprising thing was the duration of the affair with Emily. It turns out they met before my husband and I did. I had heard that Emily used to work as a caregiver back then, and it seems that's when it started. Although they weren't dating at the time, they were maintaining such a relationship. Eventually, both Emily's husband and I came into the picture, marrying different people. Hearing that made me feel betrayed for so long. However, my daughter Lily and Sarah are undeniably our children respectively. I resolved to ensure the happiness of each of our children. First, I informed my husband of my intention to divorce and consulted a lawyer. While I am financially independent, I wanted an apology from my husband. He agreed to pay child support of $600 per month until our daughter reaches adulthood. Next is Emily's turn. Considering the long history and the double infidelity, the court-ordered compensation amounted to $50,000. With support from her family and her husband, Emily paid the compensation in a lump sum to me and moved far away with her family. However, life afterwards seemed quite difficult. I heard through the grapevine that Emily struggled to find a job after the move and resumed her work as a caregiver. However, the physical labor of being a caregiver while raising a young daughter turned out to be more demanding than she expected, and she fell ill. She managed to give birth to her second child, but it further strained their finances, leading the couple to seek refuge with her husband's parents. Despite knowing the reasons behind their situation, they were subjected to snide remarks from their in-laws. Shortly after giving birth, Emily resumed work as a caregiver, but her health deteriorated again. she seems to have separated from her 2 children and is taking refuge in her parents' home for recovery. Eventually, I heard that Emily and her husband divorced. Emily ended up giving up not only her own life and money, but also her precious family. That wasn't what I had hoped for, but if it was a path she chose for herself, then there's nothing to be done about it. I heard that Emily's husband and his parents are raising their 2 children without any inconvenience, and the kids are thriving. Since I was most worried about the children, hearing that put my mind at ease. As for us, my daughter and I moved out temporarily, but upon closer consideration, we hadn't done anything wrong. Since the apartment we originally lived in was a condominium, there was still a mortgage, but my ex-husband agreed to cover that as part of the living expenses. My daughter and I don't need to pay rent, and for now, we can get by with child support, compensation, and a little extra. As for my ex-husband, he can't reduce his workload no matter how tough it gets, because he has to cover the mortgage on the apartment where my daughter and I live, as well as the monthly child support. Due to the compensation, we maintain minimal contact, but I heard he's decided to take on another job as a caregiver. In addition to caregiving at a facility, he's also doing home care visits. I hope you don't push yourself too hard financially.
But if I don't work hard, I won't be able to pay.
Honestly, I was worried that my ex-husband, who isn't much of a workaholic, was working so hard, but like Emily, he brought this upon himself, so there's nothing to be done. Since I wouldn't be satisfied without receiving the agreed-upon money, I decided not to say anything more. As long as he earns the money honestly, it doesn't matter how he makes it. Is work going well for you?
It's not something you need to worry about.
Since he's saying that, it should be fine. Still, he's the only dad my daughter has. I don't think I'm as strict as a demon myself. We decided to set our own promises and celebrate together once a year on our daughter's birthday. It seems like Kenny is using that as motivation to work hard. But what he did is absolutely unforgivable. I want him to live on with that in mind. Lily, do you feel lonely without Daddy?
But I have Mommy, so I'm okay.
Really? That's good. Thanks to our daughter informing me that Kenny liked Emily more than me, we were able to start anew. It might be ironic, but it's insulting for me to continue living as if nothing happened. Now my daughter and I are putting our hearts into moving forward together.
Mom, I want a pink backpack.
Should we go pick one out together next time?
Yay! I'm so excited to go to school.
School can be tough with studying, you know. Are you sure?
Mom, I'm aiming to be the top student.
Well, I can count on you. And that's how we're happily discussing our future together.